beach in Nelson, just taking a nice walk, and I think this beach is called Hanui.
Close enough.
Close enough. Yeah, and it was cloudy this morning, but now it's a little sunny, and we're just taking a nice stroll out on the beach before we go back to our Airbnb and just sit in there all day long and relax. There's not very many people, but here.
It's so peaceful.
Yeah. There's some beach action for you guys. Stefan, where are we?
We are outside Picton. We drove from Nelson today to Picton. We're going to get the ferry over to Wellington tomorrow morning. But for now, we're taking a short little hike that Dagmar found. She looked it up, called the Tirohanga Track or something like that. And we're just starting, so we gotta cross these rocks.
Tirohanga Track. 1 hour.
1 hour later.
This is the only traffic jam we've been stuck in New Zealand. And Dagmar, would you care to explain why? Oh, it's really zoomed in.
We are taking the ferry to Wellington today, to the North Island. And I guess I booked this, and we have to take our car, Fitz, over to the North Island as well, so we have to take it on the ferry. And this is the way to do it. We hope we are in the right lane, because check-in was at 1:15 and I think it's about 1:15 and we cannot go out again, but...
We are. This is just like driving to, on the, gosh I can't remember the name, on the 405 on the way to LAX. This is just an average day, but this is, we're all gonna drive onto the boat here. We'll check in again soon. Alright, we're driving onto the ferry.
Rolling to sleep. Like the tail's wagging. The tail's wagging.
There's all these little traction things here, and Fitz is wagging his tail. He's
just happy to see us.
We're here in windy Wellington after taking the ferry. And as you can see, it's a little bit gross out here. Our stretch of nice sunny weather apparently ended at the South Island. Now that we're on the North Island, it looks a little gross. So we are going to go into the Te Papa Museum today, which I don't really remember what's in there. I think it's like natural history and normal history and all kinds of stuff. I don't remember, but we're gonna go in there and see how it is. So. He's the famous "Please do not touch."
We look up at the Aussies on baby silver, and this is fine and that is new beat. The Turks repeatedly counterattacked and met. Finally, they pushed off the hill. Turks attacked all along the southern ridge. We hang on to most of the ridge. We also hold Walker's Ridge and Pope's Hill. It was complete chaos, no order, no control, no front line. The fighting continues, and hundreds of wounded Ainsmen streamed out to the beach. The first 24 hours, more than 150 of our men are killed, and 450 are wounded. It's chaos on the beach. Supplies are ferried in, and the wounded ferried out.
man was killed.
We can't chuck it.
This is
Mission
Kakapo Population. To protect them from the ravages of predators, Kakapo were all eventually moved to Codfish Island and Maud Island. The matchmakers at the Department of Conservation hoped these island sanctuaries would lead to hot dates, resulting in lots of Kakapo boys and girls. But why do Kakapo need help with their nuptials? These birds are very slow breeding, only mating every few years when trees such as Rimu fruit heavily. And they need plenty of food to get them in the mood for the arduous courtship and for months of solo motherhood for females. Supplementary food is the key to both breeding and survival of chicks. No oysters for these birds to raise their appetite for love. Its lack of action in the love arena leads to severe frustration. This male performs the sex act even with other species. Here, he drags a dead seabird to his bowl and, hey, steady on. No wonder the male has a reputation as a random jumper. Or is it because he's also found rolled-up jumpers attractive? But it's no time to play. Sperm needs to be collected. This probe delivers a mild electric pulse to stimulate the male to ejaculate.
Oh.
And of course, once eggs have been laid, round-the-clock surveillance of nests is the order of the day. Rats need to be trapped, and infertile eggs are removed, and fertile eggs distributed amongst the mothers. But why are eggs infertile? Is it because males are infertile? To find out whether the blokes were firing blanks, the group called in the military. This hot toddy is Chloe, the mechanical Kakapo. She's done up to the nines to entice the lads so she can collect their sperm. Sadly, this latter-day Matahari didn't get any boom-boom from the boys. Sorry, Chloe. The group also carry out 2-day weigh-ins and health checks using yet more high-tech equipment, such as kitchen sieves. With these extraordinary efforts, the Kakapo recovery team have helped increase the Kakapo numbers from 51 in 1995 to 86 in 2005. The Kakapo's not out of the woods yet, but thanks to the tireless effort of these brave men and women, we can rest assured all is being done to save this remarkable bird. The people of New Zealand salute you, Kakapo Recovery Group.
So as we saw in the video, this was the little remote control car made to try to get the Kakapo to mate with it. This was done unsuccessfully. Over here we have the Ejaculation Helmet. It says that's the name, its name, not mine. Apparently one of the Kakapo was landing on people's heads and trying to mate with their heads. And so they made this little helmet, which, I mean, it looks like it's covered in, maybe it's not condoms or hot glue or something. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It apparently was unsuccessful, which is kind of sad. But I would love to read the papers where they publish about this or whenever they ask for grant money to make an ejaculation helmet for Kakapos. I'm sure there's some really funny stuff that can be read out there and some very disappointed grad students that their big invention didn't work out. But that's the Kakapo breeding program. All right, getting a private tour of this cockpit. You can see the city out through the window. And what's
Well, it's also, I mean, it's cheaper. It's also faster to be.
Where are we?
We're in Zealandia. This is well, we're going to be there. We're heading towards, it's a nature reserve full of birds and stuff. Well, there's a little dam, you can see it right on that side. And I think that's how we get through. There's a big fence you can see right there that keeps all the non-native critters out. We're here at the wall surrounding Zealandia. Eat your heart out, Donald Trump. They don't even need crocodiles or riflemen shooting people in the legs at the top, and it's still beautiful. Beautiful, big wall. Yeah, it keeps out, I guess this is like a nature reserve, and it keeps out all of the pests, the critters like cats and stoats and possums and all those things. It keeps the birds inside.
How does it do that?
Well, they... So here's our wall. It's super fabulous. Here's all of the things that it keeps out. Burrowing animals. Got the skirt on here. They can't burrow under it. I'm not a very good Donald Trump impersonator. I'll drop it now. And then they got the gap, which is 6 by 50 millimeters. So it keeps small little dudes like weasels and stoats from crawling through it. It's high enough that things like cats, this is as high as a jumping animal can jump. And it's also got this little skirt with possums crawling over it. So, good design. And a cat. This is the maximum jumping height of the cat. 1.8 meters, which is taller than I am. So possum jumping height, stoat jumping height, rat jumping height, mouse jumping height. We're very familiar with this from our Helpdeck experience. And maximum weasel jumping height.
It's a tui. So white feathers underneath its neck. It's feeding.
Oh, there's a kaka over there.
When they're up in the pine trees, they look bigger than this. Yeah. Oh, coming back, that's getting sneaky. Get off. Bring back those one there at once.
Do you know what's special about the kakas?
I actually don't.
So the kaka is eating and all the little black birds are taking it away from him.
It's about one piece of food for the kaka and 20 pieces of food for the blackbirds. And then down here the little sparrows are eating the crumbs. Trickle down economics.
There you go. We're on the suspension bridge. We're a little bit higher up. You can see all the trees, like the tops of a lot of these trees. There's some, I don't know what most of them are, but there's some nice ferns over there. And then over in the distance up there, it looks like the Great Wall of China, but that's the wall that we talked about earlier that keeps out all the pests. So that goes all around the park and keeps out the stoats and the possums and the rats. So this is a pest-free land for the birds to thrive in.
Okay.
Coming up here, we see this fern, and it's not just a regular fern, it's a silver fern, which we can see by the underbelly of it. It's silver on the bottom. Yeah, it looks like it's been spray painted with silver paint, but this silver fern is a very special sign of or symbol of New Zealanders. It's actually worn by is it the rugby team?
I think so. I think that's their symbol. Yeah? All Blacks.
But you see a lot, like you obviously see kiwis everywhere, but you also see silver ferns a lot of places, and it shows, yeah, it's just one of the symbols.
So we found a tuatara right here. This is a sphenodon, not to be confused with a lizard. It's the only remaining member of its family, and it's completely separate from lizards. It has a third eye, which is like a photoreceptor to see if it's in the sun or not. It's on the top of its forehead. It has, I think tuatara means spiny back in Maori. They live for like 100 or 200 years. They take like 20 years to reach sexual maturity, so they're really hard to breed in captivity. They are very territorial. They eat even young tuataras, even their own tuataras. Like typically they are expected to like go off and find some new territory, but if they happen to run across their own young, they'll gobble it up. What else is special about them? Their sex is determined by the temperature of the soil that they're born in, that their egg is put in. So it's kind of interesting. And yeah, we were surprised to find one. It's kind of a wet, cold day. We're surprised that this guy's out here chilling out. I'm hungry. Just kidding. That's the presumed sound somebody made up for what the moa might have sounded like. The moa was a very large, like emu-like bird that was still on New Zealand when the Maori arrived. But it was kind of hunted to extinction, I think, before European settlers came. I'm not 100% sure. But would you like to run into one of those guys in the woods? Mm-mm. Especially when it sounds like a hungry tummy. To build on what I said earlier, if the eggs of a tuatara are at 21 degrees Celsius or lower, they turn out to be a female, and if they're 22 degrees or higher, then it's a boy. The reveal parties are not as exciting in tuatara culture.
Cool. There's a movie playing behind you of a moa?
Mm-hmm.
Are you scared?
I'm scared. There's the Haas eagle up there, the largest eagle that ever lived.
Oh, wow. Well, don't let that fool you. Stefan loves those moas.
Here comes the rat onto the island. That's what kills everything. Bad rat. Ratatouille.
Came from the ship?
Mm-hmm. Should we go watch this? We're here at the dam in the upper reservoir. I don't really know more about it, but there's water on this side and there's not water on that side. So maybe the dam is to keep the critters' habitat well protected from water. You're on.
Land ho! Land ho!
You're the only land ho I see.